Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the Parrott Bros. Today we're going to be doing an intake system. So this is taking it from a stock set up on the 3-litre supercharged V6 to the massive air intake open comb filter with a shield and a housing. We'll also cover if you wanted to do silicone intake pipe with a K&N Box Filter. So we'll cover it all. Let's jump into the intro. So intake wise, you've kind of got obviously the three options. The stock option, which you'll probably have to start with. Now this has, see if I can get it on the camera, it has a baffle inside. Yeah, see that gauze in there? That's a baffle which is supposed to do some sound deadening as well with this, which will reduce the supercharger whine that everyone loves. If you're not a big fan of it, keep the stock one. If you want a little bit more noise but you still want to maintain a closed box, which is quite a popular option because it has been discussed that there may be some heat soak with having an open filter, so you can get a silicone hose. These retail new from about 70 or 80 pounds up to about 120, 130 pounds for the silicone one. I mean, you can see it takes out the restriction of the baffle. It's slightly larger for slightly longer. It doesn't have this because obviously this is ribbed on the inside, which will reduce airflow. So it is a bit better. It does give you a little bit more noise, not loads, but it is noticeable. That can be matched with a stock airbox, so you can keep your enclosed thing, or you can go for something like this, which is the Roc Euro intake system. It comes with a shield as well, which you'll see in a little while, and that again has a similar size filter to the box one. Let me get it. So that's the box filter, that's the open filter, so it's a similar size. It has the central hole, whereas obviously the box filter doesn't, so it is a similar size, but it's an open filter, which means it's likely to get a little bit more heat soak. If the engine bay is warmer, it may suck in more warm air rather than being an enclosed box just taking the air from outside. So they're kind of your three options. Obviously I'll put that in between because that does both of these two. So they are your three options. Obviously price wise, the filter is about 50 or 60 quid new. Like I said, the prices on them are already discussed. And these, I mean, you can pick these up from second hand from 100, 150 pounds up to new about 400 pounds depending on the brand. There's quite a few, and I'll put some links down in the description as to where you can get and what ones are available. So that is what we've discussed today, and I'll fitting wise, this goes back on exactly how this one would, Jubilee clip on either end. If it doesn't come with one, you may need to get a small through joiner, which you can just put in there, which is to pick up that breather pipe that's in the car if it doesn't already come with one, which you can get from most places like Halford, something like that. So that is the three options. Right, let's get into fitting this. The stock hose, or accordion hose as it's known, which is made out of sort of a flexible plastic, is only held on by two Jubilee clips, which is one on the airbox and one on the throttle body here. Now I've left them loose just so it makes the video a bit quicker. You're going to need to take a couple of pipes off. So with these clips, when they're down, and all you normally do is just get a screwdriver and just pop it out from underneath, and it will lift up, and then you can lift the fuel pipe out. And then you have another pipe just at the back here, which is in an open clip, which you can literally just pull gently with your finger on it, and it just pulls out of there. So yeah, Jubilee, and then you've got this pipe here, and that, if it has a clip on, just clip the clip, take the clip off, either cut it or unscrew it depending on, but I'm pretty sure they don't, and you just pull it off and keep it up out the way. It shouldn't fall down anywhere, and then you're ready to take your hose off. Now I would recommend taking your time, because obviously you don't want to drop anything down the engine. It's quite a big engine and you may have a bit of trouble finding it afterwards, so try and hold on to the clip when you're pulling it. If you just pull gently towards you and up and away from the engine, and the same with this one, make sure your pipe's out, hold on to the clip and lift it away from the car, and that is that done. Now the roof of the airbox is held on with some Torx 25s around. There is also two just out of sight, so we'll get these undone. They're captive, so they stay where they are, they won't fall out. Just get them loose. I normally use a gun to undo and then put them in by hand because obviously you don't want to over tighten them and damage it. Right, so that's the box loose now. What we'll do is we'll lift that out, and you can just lift straight up, and there's your cone filter. Now obviously if you've got a stock one, that will be a sort of yellow and white paper element, and I'll show you in a second how this is fitted. So that is the air filter removed. Okay, so if you're looking to replace the filter, whether it's stock or you want to put a K&N in, or you want to take a K&N out and put a stock in, there's two little screws here, just on top, and they're a 7mm on the K&N. I'm sure the stock is similar, and they just literally come undone like that. Put them to one side, and then that should just pull out the bottom. Now there's your filter, so it's got the threads on both sides, and that is your air filter K&N. So if you wanted to put a K&N in, all you've got to do to obviously take it out of the box is take the hose off, undo the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Torx 25 screws, pull that out, and then be careful, it's got nuts and washers holding it in, and then you can just take the old one out, put the new one in, or vice versa, and then you've got a nice K&N filter for a little bit more breathing and a tiny bit more performance. Okay, so to remove the box, you want to remove this air intake pipe first. Now that is, you just push down and pull. There's two little tabs and they just pull out, and then there's the same underneath which will come loose as you pull it. To remove the box itself is a case of just pulling up. Now be aware there is a pipe the other side of here, so don't pull it too far because you might pull the pipe off. So it's in a little rubber housing there which you just lift off, and then in the middle it has a little one there as well. So that's that off. We'll remove this pipe completely, pull it. If you just squeeze it together and pull, it will come out of the housing from the scuttle there. And like I said, you want to just get this pipe off. Now this is a squeeze one. They're a bit fiddly, but because you can't really see what you're doing whilst you're doing it, but normally just give it a good squeeze and it comes off. So there's the filter housing. So like I said, there's these two sets of lines on either side, and all you do is you just squeeze it like that, and that just removes it from the housing, and then there you go. So that is the filter system removed. So that is your stock system removed, and you're just left with a nice big hole ready to put the new one in. All I'm going to do is just give this a quick clean so that when we fit the new system it's nice and clean. Okay, so kit wise, with the Roc Euro kit, now I got it second hand, so this may not be 110% accurate as to what you get with it new, but I'm sure it's probably similar. So this is the little breather pipe that we'll put onto that plastic pipe that we had to squeeze to remove. We've got the shield to stop the heat soak from the engine and to draw the cold air in from the scuttle, and you've got the hard pipe and filter. Now obviously I don't need to explain to you, filter end, and this is the throttle body end. So there's a silicone joiner here to join the metal pipe to the metal throttle body. What we'll probably do is we'll get the shield mounted first. Now this goes through the two holes. I'll show you now. This goes through the two holes here, and what they do is they squeeze through, go underneath, and then they'll pull back upwards to give you a nice fixing, and it will sort of turn diagonally and then go straight like that. That was where the little gauze goes, and we'll just put it up out the way here with this original bracket nice and out the way. So yeah, let's jump into getting this fitted. Okay, like I said before, so to get this fitted we've got these two squeeze clamps, which what I'll do is I'll squeeze them together and just get them slightly in the hole, and then you can see what's going to happen. Get it the right side of that fuel pipe. So these squeeze together, what they do is they're sprung loaded, so once they're in they'll come back out again automatically. Right, there you go. So you can just see they're sprung loaded in, so once we push them down they will open up when underneath, like so, and then when you pull back you can't lift it out again. So that's sat there nice and snug. There's a rubber seal which just tucks under this to draw all the air into where the air filter is. You want to get yourself quite a long, decent size Phillips, and what you do is just wind. You may need to hold the clip, so I can just see it spinning until it gets to a point where it's up high enough. There's a little hole you can put your finger through to get to it. Once it goes tight, you don't want to go crazy. Just get it nipped up nice. And then this one, what I found from the past with these is you might need to hold them up a little bit. If you can't get access to them, you may just need to hold it up so it's against the body. Put your fingers underneath the washer, and then you can just screw it down, and it means it won't spin underneath. You'll feel it go in tight because access isn't very good into there. And as it starts to bite up, then you can let go. Perfect. So that's now nice and firm. It's just tucked underneath here, and it's got a ridge just so it stays there. Now we'll get the filter fitted. What we'll probably do is we take the cone off, so then we're just left with the pipe itself, the silicone and 2 clips, and we'll offer it through here and up to near where it needs to be. It's quite a snug fit, so you might have to have a little fiddle with it. It can only really go in one place, so don't worry if it just takes a little bit of time just to fiddle it on. And that is it there. So what we'll do is we'll get it done up. These are actually a slightly bigger bit, but you want to make sure that the Jubilee clip is on nice and round and in the right place, because if it's slightly at an angle like that, there's the likelihood is that this might pop off and that will cause you more problems. So just get it sort of reasonably tight in where you think is the right position, and then check it afterwards. Then you can do up the second clip, which then holds the pipe on. Make sure it's not resting on anything or anything like that, and then you'll be hunky-dory. Okay, so it's an 8mm rather than a 7. It's a lot easier with a 7 or 8mm than it is with a flat-headed screwdriver, because it does tend to want to jump out quite a bit. So like I said, get it reasonably close to being tight, not too tight, so you can still sort of move it around. And then what you want to do is just make sure the silicone's on properly. Give it a good nip. Don't go too mad, because doesn't need to be massively tight. And then give it a shake. Is it going to come off? No, it's not going to come off. Okay, great. Now this does go in and out quite a bit, so you may just need to get it where you think it's going to fit. Make sure it's not touching on anything. You can twist it around a bit. You don't really want it resting on anything, because it will vibrate and make a horrible noise whilst you're driving. I'd say about there is right. Again, make sure your Jubilees are straight all the way around, not too tight. You just get a feel for it, and then that should be relatively firm, which it is. Put your finger where you can, just make sure it's on the throttle body straight. You can see there's no shininess, so you know it's on. Feels quite firm and nice. Right, we'll grab the filter. So we've got 2 filters to fit. We've got the push fit one, which literally just presses on and clips, and we'll just leave that hanging out of the way for a minute. And then we've got the cone filter, which is a snug fit. And may require just a little bit of fiddling to get it in the right place. It's just touching on that, which I don't like. So we may need to do a little tweak adjustment as to where it sits. That's better. Again, try and get the clip nice and straight and firm on there. You'll know whether or not that's good. We'll do this back up now we're happy with its positioning. I might just try and go in a tiny bit more, just to give me a couple of mil of clearance from the light there. Make sure it's not rubbing on anything, so a little twist. There you go, it's not touching on the aircon pipes. Little tweak. And that is nice and tight. Just check everything. And that is it. Nice and firm. There's a little wobble on that, but to be honest, it's minor. I can't see it doing any bother. This will get a little cable tie, and we will, you can't see that doesn't help. So with this we'll just get a little cable tie and we'll cable tie it to that bracket just like that, out the way. It can't flop around, then it won't make any noise and it'll be nice and filtered. Probably maybe there, we'll do there, that looks good. So yeah, that is fitted. The only thing that I haven't done, which I'm not 100% sure, and I might have to get an extender, is that pipe at the back. So let me just take the camera out and you can have a look for yourselves. So there's this pipe here, which is the pipe we removed, this one, and it's a bit short for going onto there. So what I'll do is I'll use that white joiner I've got, and I've got a little bit of extra pipe, and I'll put it from there to there using that little white joiner, and then that's us done. Then we can do a little startup video. A short length, about 6 inches of 8mm hose, and all I've done is use that straight joiner that I had from the Silicone hose, which you can see just down there. I've joined them together, just a nice long sweeping loop, no stress on the cable, on the pipe, sorry. And then I've just popped the little cable tie on there because I haven't got any clips the right size, but as you can see it's not going to come off. And that is the install complete. I put a little cable tie just on there, just through that, and you can see that's not going anywhere. And yeah, there you have it. So let's jump in the car and have a little listen, shall we? So the intake's fitted, we'll go for a little drive. The car's all warmed up. Let's see what it sounds like, shall we? It's so loud. So you've gone from hearing literally nothing other than some exhaust to basically all intake, which is actually louder than the exhaust. This is a 40. I'll skip through the video and we'll jump straight onto some faster stuff in a sec, and I'll also spin the microphone around because at the moment the microphone's pointing me, so I'll give it sort of in the cabin and sort of pointing forward towards the car just to try and get a good mix of the sound. Right, so I've just got my driver's side window open. Hopefully this will let a bit more sound in as we jump onto a dual carriageway. We're going manual because, well, it's more fun. Definitely feels more responsive. I don't know whether that's like a placebo effect or what, but that felt really linear. I really enjoyed that. Okay, so now I've spun the old microphone round so it's pointing towards the window, so maybe you'll get a bit more of that supercharger sound, maybe not, we'll see. But it's certainly a lot louder. I mean, you could barely hear it in the car before, and now it's like an aeroplane or a police siren. So let's see what it's like. Right, and that is 70 straight away. Yeah, that's, do you know, it definitely feels faster. It feels a lot smoother. Like I said, it might just be a placebo effect. Maybe we'll get it on the rolling road soon. Obviously I've had a rolling road already with it, with the Silicone and the air filter in the box. So maybe we'll get another one just to comparize next time I'm up near CJ Mechanical. We'll get a rolling road maybe and see what the figure difference is. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching that. That is fitting of a intake kit. I really like it, and I'll do another video a bit later on, maybe comparing a few different ones once I meet up with a couple of guys I know who've got different intakes. And yeah, thanks for watching guys. That is another video from the Parrott Bros.